Yeah, for once we weren't discussing something that would make us seem even more sketchy. Hello, welcome to the live.
Hello.
Uh Good gosh, it's been weeks since I've seen you.
Yeah.
It's and what's amazing is, and I know I talk about this every episode, my favorite thing about Corolla is um so I associate not answering messages with like the worst possible thing. My brain doesn't have a filter of just like, oh, they're busy, they're overstimulated. My brain is like, oh, they're gone. Like something's
They're
happened.
dead. Yeah.
Like
Oh.
Sansa is eating Corolla, like something terrible has happened. Um, but I take a lot of comfort knowing Corolla's okay because I got to see her shake her torso on Instagram with her unboxing video.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, my podcast wife is all right. But
Yeah. No. It's been a week. Listen,
yeah,
I don't even know. Like, I know that the reel in question, which I want to defend myself because this is the second time this week I've had to, you know, explain. I was not shaking anything. It was not a dance. The video was just sped up. I was actually just kind of like turning, but I sped up the video. It looks like I'm dancing. But uh, that video literally took all day to make. And it reminded me of why I don't do that because that was, and I've had a lot of con work because the con work is ramping up,
hmm.
and I don't know where the days went.
Also, please appreciate Corolla rationalizing that she wasn't actually dancing like we're fucking Quakers.
Of course. What do you what do you think I am, Amanda?
Like we live in the fucking Oneida community. What do you mean you weren't dancing? I
Like
don't care about the dancing,
like
girl.
don't don't looking aside from the reel I posted previously with the Rotten Girl cosplay,
Yeah.
listen, don't accuse me of doing such ungodly things
Okay.
as dancing.
I just want I want one of those like Simpsons memes where it's like we talk about fictional incest here.
That is not the same.
If I don't hear
There
from
is
people, I also assume so. Thank you. Like I just and the thing is that I know it's irrational. Like it's one of those like mental things that I know is irrational and it makes me feel worse. But like my brain does not have my therapist described it once to me. My brain does not have an everything is okay switch.
mm,
So if Corolla doesn't answer me for a few days, like, the badger got her and something terrible has happened.
I'm sorry. But like
And but I was very reassured to see your quivering torso.
yeah. And I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, which is equally bad because I just assume everyone else is like me. So if I don't hear from someone for like literal, like it can be months, I'm like,
He's
oh,
fine.
he's fine, they're fine, it's okay. And it's like, what if they're dead? I wouldn't know. I would
Literally, literally dead in a ditch. He's like, they're fine.
like, unless my grandma is like telling me, oh, I saw your friend's obituary in the paper yesterday, I wouldn't know. It's terrible. I just assume everyone else is, just as exhausted and antisocial because I'm not a social person.
Uh, you know what? I will say though, I am so excited to be back and I'm so excited to talk about this topic again
Yes,
because we had so much fun
we did.
really diving into our roots and the place that I moved into the walls and have lived for the last 20 years. This is my butter.
I mean, yeah.
I do. So if you have any like fanfic questions you want to ask me, let me know. Um, that was a good radio voice moment.
Yeah, I was.
This is
Very
also
good.
the best I've sounded.
Oh, yeah, you sound normal.
Thank you. Thank you.
I forgot.
I was sick.
How are your lungs? Did we escape the pneumonia?
I
See,
did not.
here's that thing. I could have checked in and seen if you had pneumonia.
You could have.
I'm a terrible friend.
I do not have pneumonia. I did not catch pneumonia. I'm fine.
Yay.
Um, it's been a hell of a couple of weeks, but I am so excited to talk about this topic. We had such a great time talking about it the first time, and really, it feels like all of our other topics where it's like we really could have like an entire season dedicated
Oh,
to
yeah.
one topic. This feels like one of them. I'm curious if you think any shonen series off the top of your heads would be difficult to queer.
I mean, my immediate thought is, what shonen series do I even know? Because clearly, uh, like at the top of my head, like, and I know that this isn't true. I
Mm-hmm.
want to say One Piece just because I personally don't like the art style. However, I know a lot of people who are into One Piece, and I know that there are some severely queer, yes, moments and characters in there. But like, just from my personal perspective, and again, this is coming from just the pure visuals, because like I'm sure if I watched it, I would see it immediately. But just looking at the art, I'm like, I don't like the art, therefore I'm not interested in seeing these characters screwing each other. That is not what you asked, but that's what I have.
I'm gonna draw an example from Lindsay Ellis. She did this series called The Whole Plate, where she analyzed the Michael Bay Transformers films by
Mm,
each film theory, and she got to queer theory, which is funny because the Transformers have had like these amazing conversations about queer theory and what it means to like what does gender mean to a fucking robot. Like they've had these amazing conversations in the comics,
mm-hmm,
and then Michael Bay came and made it big stupid.
mm-hmm.
So she said firmly, you can't queer a Michael Bay movie because everyone hates each other. And that's kind of, and I admit I'm not an expert, but that's kind of how I feel about Attack on Titan, where it's like
Really?
I like everyone hates each other, so I have a hard time with it. Now, again, I did not get far. I see the ships. I am aware of the Yaoi, but like
Also,
from
canon lesbians.
yeah,
Just putting that out
sure,
there.
sure. That wasn't in the male in the Deldrum that I was watching.
No,
But like it's like everyone hates each other.
Michael
Michael Bay
Bay.
is a great answer.
But no, but I, the thing, because I literally thought about this the other day, like literally the Michael Bay Transformers. I don't know why. Maybe because Bumblebee came up in a conversation recently,
That might be
and
it.
I was thinking, because like this is terrible. I am not. Disclaimer, I did not grow up watching Transformers. My only relationship to Transformers are older male friends I have who
Yes.
watched Transformers when it was actually on TV here,
Yes.
which I did not because I was too young or wasn't born or whatever, and the Michael Bay movies. And I've seen like 3, and also the Bumblebee movie. So, but Bumblebee is my favorite. And this is why I'm a terrible fan, because I'm like, Bumblebee is the one who speaks through the radio, right?
Yes.
Yes, which means
But
that Bumblebee, there is for me a certain queerness to Bumblebee, because technically he can be anything because he uses the radio to express himself, right? So I've
so
always
he's
thought of
just
that as
blasting "I'm Every Woman" at a drag show. Like that what
yes.
you're
No, but like he could have no, he could be exactly, he could be a drag queen if he wanted, and I would kill to see it. But like he could have any voice. He could,
Oh, okay.
he could say anything. And I feel like there is, you could say that that is a queer kind of, no
Like in a
pun intended,
Maltese
like
Falcon kind of way.
transformative way. Yes.
Okay.
Just
Okay. You just see
what
immense skepticism on me. I'm
what
sorry.
what is up with everyone not queering Attack on Titan?
I Attack on Titan
Actually,
characters and yeah, like they just they hit me
really?
again. Like I am aware of the world outside of me. I have seen it. I still don't get it.
I just, that is so fascinating to me because, okay, I will admit I am a bit weird. My head isn't screwed on entirely. Yeah, I know. And the moment that Levi stomped into that courtroom and kicked Eden in the face, I was like, oh hell yeah, I shipped that. But
Okay. So
but no, but the thing is, Eren, because that's the thing I was talking about in the main episode with, you're always idolizing the senpai, or in this case, the world's strongest soldier. Eren looks up to Levi, even though Levi is short and technically he's looking down on him. We love a short king. And but he looks up to him and he's constantly trying um to impress him, right? There's that, and you have the power dynamic, and Levi is hot as hell, and I fucking can't. And also, I was going through my screenshots recently for reasons, and I found there's a scene, I think in season 2, where the recruits are like cleaning a cabin or something. Maybe this is season 3, but they are cleaning a cabin or something, and Eren is so upset because they haven't cleaned properly, and Levi is a clean freak. And there's this line where he's just like, "Do you really think this will satisfy Captain Levi?" And I'm like, I know what would satisfy Captain Levi, but I digress.
I was just waiting for that. No, like I am familiar with the model. I've seen it. I am
No,
aware.
I know.
Like it's not that I don't question it. Just for what I saw, it was that Michael Bay answer of like everyone hates each other, and I think more importantly, there was so much else going on.
What you mean, like the yeah, no, there's a lot going on. That series is
Like
absolutely insane.
I will say, like that's probably some of the harder shonens for me to find
Mm.
queer ships in is like y'all got work to do. We don't have time for you to be like kissing in closets and sharing beds. The apocalypse is happening outside.
But that's precisely it. What happens in every single horror film, though? We're gonna die. We have to fuck each other, right? That is, and then you die because we have rules. Why doesn't anyone ever listen to Randy? I'm just asking. But in and in Shingeki as well, you have the whole, the recruits. They are bunkmates, and there's and I mean, arguably they didn't get much of a shot because there's Marco and Jean, right? And then Marco dies in like episode 3, but there there was something there, but he died. Spoiler. It's not much of a spoiler. He dies so quickly. It's sad. um but as far as canon queerness go, there are the lesbians,
Okay.
Ymir and Krista, the
Okay.
lesbians, so
Okay.
there is queerness.
Okay.
I love them so much.
Okay.
I'm
That's
fine.
uh,
Actually, you know who they remind me of? Just a side note. You know that I don't remember the name of it. The Chinese webcomic, the Chinese manhwa with the girl with the dark hair and the blonde pretty girl. And it's like it's the Yuri. It's like the Yuri version of 19 Days. That's who Ymir and Krista remind me of. Actually, God, what's the name of that thing? I will find out.
but yeah, that's my answer for a shonen that's difficult to queer. I also admit, and I've talked about this, I have a hard time queering things that
Tom and
were
Degushi. Yes.
thank you that were super formative to me. So like, okay, personal tangent. Rebecca Sugar, who made Steven Universe, she is like an OG like Tumblr fangirl, and she got famous online for doing Ed Netty fic in
Right.
art. And like for whatever reason, that just squicked me out more than you could ever know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, and like that knowledge affected how I saw Steven Universe. So like I could not process that, and that's entirely personal and entirely on me. I totally see it again now that I'm older and I accepted my Fujin goggles. I can see what she saw. Yes. Uh, Now I can see what she was seeing back then because she's a little older than I am.
Mm.
Like Ed Netty was such like a core pure memory of like sitting at home, my parents obviously neglecting me, and I'm just in front of the television. That it's like, oh, I cannot fathom this. So those would be like really the only circumstances where it's like, oh, this is a little hard for me to queer. Otherwise, once I accepted the Fujin glasses that I received after making a deal with the devil,
Yeah. I think it's very hard for me not to queer
yeah,
something. I
yes,
think the only like, and I think I've talked about this before, but I think less now because I've just reached a level of rotten where it's like I will find crumbs anywhere and I will follow them. But I am less inclined to have the Fujo goggles on if I'm watching or reading shoujo. If
hmm
it is like a, which is interesting because you're talking to a person who tends to forget that straight people exist. Like my friend who is in a straight relationship texted me the other day about like period stuff, and she was like, I don't understand what the fuck my body is doing, but it makes me nervous. And then it's like, what if I'm pregnant? And my immediate thought is, where the hell would she get pregnant? This is a woman who's having sex on the regular with a man. I forget that straight people exist. But I was, if I'm reading a shoujo romance that is, high school sweethearts, I tend to not look for the ships, or I tend to not, like, I can see them. There's always going to be like a best friend or something, and I can think that, oh, he'd look hot with his best friend or whatever. But like, I am still rooting for the main couple because it's shoujo and it's like supposed to be that way, I guess. But with
I
shonen, they don't stand a chance.
no, no, absolutely not. And I think it's interesting because like the more I think about like the shonen that I queer, and like even now, shonen that I queer now that I know I wouldn't have if I was younger.
Mm.
Like, oh my god, if I found My Hero Academia when I was like 15 years old, I would be the worst self insert queen. I would be the absolute worst, just Mary Sue self insert
Oh
queen.
god.
I think if female characters are written well and their relationships with male characters are very compelling, I will keep my default ships. But exactly, but it is
Yeah.
seinen. No,
Yeah,
I think that
I
that's
get
true.
why are so many of these series seinen? I keep like, I'm like, oh wait, that's not actually a shonen. I see.
Well, and we talked about that during the Patreon episode,
Yeah.
which is available if you'd like to give us a one time payment. I keep saying this. I think that Patreon episode is one of the best Patreon episodes we've ever
Yeah.
done.
And it was so much fun. I was
And it
enjoying
was
it greatly.
so fun. So that's available over on our Patreon if you want to give us a one time payment to give it a listen. Uh because I that was some of the best character analysis we've ever done. That was some of the best everything we'd ever done, and it was so much fun. But we talked about that, and it's like so many seinen, especially when we as in Westerners got them, all kind of lumped in with the shonen because that's it was like we were given a bag of food, but it wasn't like organized. There was no
Yeah.
rhyme or reason. It was just like here's your happy meal, and there's just like chicken nuggets and fries everywhere,
Yeah.
and we just shoveled it into our mouths because we were just like food,
Yeah,
and it
we're
didn't.
we're starved. And
We were
and
starving.
and again, like a lot of these genres do have a certain overlap, right?
They do.
And and again, like we said, I think in the main episode that a lot of, shonen boys will grow into seinen men. So
Except for
it's,
Naruto.
yeah, no, but I'm talking about the readers, not
Okay.
not, or yeah. And
Oh,
so
sorry.
the audience is overlapping, right? Because you may
Right.
start with shonen, but seinen has so many of the same qualities. It's just that, it's there, like it's a mixed bag. It's like what I said. Like I was so surprised when I saw that Horimiya is listed as a shonen, even though it's, a high school romance comedy. But it's because of the way that it's angled. The narrative structure is different from a
Mhm.
shoujo. But I think that we just, we associate shonen with battle shonen, right? Or like,
Mhm.
I also think that a lot of, like I said in the main episode, like a lot of sports anime feels shonen coded to me. It's also gay, but again, mixed bag. It's all
Yeah,
overlapping. It's all the same. I don't care.
absolutely.
There's nothing gayer
Absolutely.
than shonen anyway. So
Right. And I think like that was the main crux of it. And there is also one critique that I keep coming back to is the whole that very toxic masculinity comment of, well, men should be able to share emotions. Men should be able to express themselves. And it's like no one is saying that we don't want men to express emotions. What we're saying is that if a character says you've been eager to use me from the start, I don't know how else I'm supposed to react.
Yeah, and again, jumping the gun, and we're gonna deep dive into this in a month-ish, but I don't know about you, but actually, as a man, how often do you say things like, "I know your heart and you know mine" to your buddy? That's a wedding vow. That's not that's not something you just say to the guys over, like during commercials during the game or whatever. Like, what? I don't think
During
I've ever said that to a romantic partner.
during a Super Bowl watch party,
Yeah.
you just look to your best friend, each of you holding a Miller High Life. I know
you
my
just
heart.
you look
What in the Brokeback Mountain?
yeah, Saskia, what the fuck was that? But like, you don't say that to someone who's like, that's not that is something you say during your wedding.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me, the whole idea. It's like, oh well, you guys are toxic because you're denying men showing vulnerability, and it's like, no, that's different. I personally love seeing vulnerable male characters on screen and in
Yeah.
real life. However, this is gay.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like
it's like,
affectionately. It's like not even like in the weird like 2000s, internet culture where like anything was gay.
oh, but I
Like
mean, we've way surpassed that now. I mean, after all, being with a woman now makes you gay because that makes you in touch with the feminine or whatever, and the alpha bros. Yeah, fellas, is it gay to like women? Apparently. So,
my favorite was the men's retreat where they were all just like screaming and crying together. Sansa.
Sansa is here.
Oh, this is not a shonen, but it got me thinking. I have a hard time queering parts of Game of Thrones.
I
Even
don't
though there
know
are some
anything.
objectively very queer and very slutty characters, I have a hard time with it. But not a shonen, I acknowledge. But yeah, if you have questions, comments, concerns about the episode, we are here to address them. Um, I've been diving back into some of my old fic because I've been editing.
I'm glad one of us is editing.
I've been editing.
I'm so proud of you. I'm
Thank
so
you.
jealous.
It's girl, it's been a fucking struggle. It's been like a days long process. I'm like, okay, day
Mm.
one, I open the tab.
Yeah, yeah,
Day two, I look at the tab.
sounds about right.
Yeah, it's one of those like hardcore writer moments where it's like going down 3 paragraphs has taken a week.
I have 2 novels to edit, and I'm considering just wandering off into the woods and never returning. Like that seems like a more pleasant option. What?
Can I manage your novels after your death and then just turn them all into angst fests?
They're already angst fests, except Change of Heart, I think, which is a feel good, even though it made my friend cry. But I mean, that's not on me. I
I'm
take
taking over. I'm taking over creative liberties. All these characters are terrible now. I have an easier time clearing the book versions of Game of Thrones characters in the books. Sean has a twink assistant. Yes, he does.
Oh, really?
Who was sent to the wall for prostitution. This is true. George George R. R. Martin, what are you doing? There's there's just so many weird little moments in Game of Thrones where it's like you didn't have to do this. Your weird, horny brain told you to do this. There's just so many little instances where it's like, this wasn't happening during the War of the Roses. Like, I don't know what War of the Roses book you read, but this level of sibling incest was not a part of it.
I don't know. I know so
Mm.
little about Game of Thrones, and every single time someone bring it up, I'm more grateful for it. I think I lucked out.
I think you would be in a similar boat to me where there are characters that you like a lot and you wish were in different series. Like if I could
Perhaps.
just yoink some of these characters out from this muck and mire, I'd be so much happier. Oh,
Hmm.
Sansa.
He is, yeah. If anyone hears like the sound of my table moving, it's because he keeps bumping his head on it. He's being very affectionate, but he is also shedding fur everywhere.
I have never read this,
I've
but I've
never read.
heard.
I watched the movie. It was terrible.
This was, see, there was like a pivotal moment in my reading history where I was reading books that I shouldn't have been. And I could have chosen that series, and I didn't. Unfortunately, I picked up Harry Potter,
That
and that changed my entire life. The movie was ass. Yes.
movie, absolutely terrible. Which, unfortunately, since I did watch the film, did not make me want to read the books. Sadly,
Fair.
I'm not a big fantasy person, so
No. No, you are not. If you're on Discord, you already know this, but I bought a set of Goya's black paintings.
oh,
And right now I have Saturn devouring his sun right next to my lamp, which is currently purple, and it is so moody and atmospheric, and I love it.
Sansa, slap off.
Because I am a normal person with normal interests who likes things a normal amount.
Oh yeah, but like, who am I to judge? Have you met me? Do you know what I'm like?
Yes.
It's not. I had
Uh,
a
yes.
I had an experience. Again, this is not shonen related in the slightest, but I had an experience. I spent 2 weeks, like literal 2 weeks, fighting with the internet to get access to the new Beyond Cloud sitcom called Jetlag, which is not a BL. I just wanted to see it because Bible and Mile were in it. And after a lot of fighting and a lot of different attempts at subscription services, VPNs, etc., I managed to watch the first 3 episodes. And in the third episode, there is a character who speaks. She is Thai. The actress is Thai, but she is playing a character who has lived abroad and therefore doesn't really speak good Thai. So she speaks in this weird English. It is so funny, Ren. But yeah, it's she comes in and she speaks in this weird Tinglish kind of thing, and the way she has this butler, and every single time she asks him to do anything and he does it, she goes, "Thank you, Kateki." And this is now my life. This has burned itself into my brain and I can't get rid of it. And when I was recording the video where I do the little, what was it you said I did with my torso?
Shaking your torso.
Yeah, there was, when I tried making the voiceover the first time, I was gonna thank Kai for sending me the package, and I could hear my voice going, "Thank you, Kai." I was like, I'm turning into this girl. So if anyone wonders where I'm at, uh, this character in this dumb sitcom ate my brain, and now I can't stop talking like her.
This
So
is why this is why I don't hear from my business partner for days on end. I'd like I'd like the record to state, Your Honor. This is why my business partner,
yeah, because
I don't hear from them.
I was busy. Oh, Heart Killers is so good.
That's
I haven't. It's it's the only Jungdunk series I've seen, so I need to watch all of their others because now I'm obsessed with them. But oh my god, Fidel in my heart. Yes, you'd like Heart Killers, Amanda. I think you'd enjoy it.
I don't believe you.
You never trust me.
I don't. Not after the kid.
Wow.
I don't.
Listen, the kin por- you if you had watched more than one episode, you would love it.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what you want
You
from.
just I want you to admit that you'll enjoy it. You
That's
just
not how that
you
works.
decided that that you weren't going to like it, and I know that because I do the same thing
I
when people
didn't.
try to make me watch things that I don't like.
I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything. Just like when I was watching Yuri on Ice.
Why are you like this?
I don't know, woman. Also, I have my beloved blue paint water with me.
No, stop. It's not good for you.
No, it's not. It isn't. Oh my goodness.
Yes. And like first and Kao Tung, like I just want Kao Tung to be playing a character where I don't have to see him cry. He's a great crier, but man, why are all of his characters so sad? But yeah, I love first and Kao Tung. Look at me. I've become one of these people.
She
I was
said
like
become.
I no, but I was like, I used to be kind of like because I hate idol industry, right? So I was like, I'm not gonna get into the whole Thai BL scene because they are based off of the Korean idol industry, and they have the whole the pairings and everything. And I'm like, no, this is not. But then I knew if I started watching these series, I would get attached to these couples, and now here I am. Here I am. I regret nothing. Yeah, only friends, only fans, only friends. Yes, and fucking Moonlight Chicken when he's singing at the funeral destroyed me.
Okay.
Oh god.
Carla, would you like to get back on topic?
Yes, I was looking through, and when I say looking through, I mean I was like skipping through the main episode because I feel like there were a lot of things where we were like, oh, we'll talk more about this in the live, and I
Yes.
cannot remember a single one of those things. And I was trying to find them and I couldn't. And I was like, maybe that was the Patreon episode. I don't know. I don't remember anything. Help. Like I said, I've had a long week, and and I had to suffer through. We had Constitution Day and Eurovision on the same day, and I'm still in hell.
What the fuck? Why are you like this?
I don't know. Ask my parents.
Um, I'm trying to think. There were a lot of things that we said, oh, we'll talk about this more in the live.
Yes, but I don't remember what those things were. Does anyone else remember?
That sounded so pathetic. Why are
I
you
am,
like this?
I am pathetic. I'll admit it. I
That sounded so sad. Uh,
yes.
oh, I know that we did say we wanted to talk about queer shipping as a form of utopia.
That might be true.
Uh,
See, it's not just me. I actually have very good memory, just not on things like this.
on important things.
Oh yeah. If you ask me about that Japanese children's song I heard on TV in Tokyo in 2013, I can still sing the whole thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So queer shonen shipping as utopia, where it's like, oh, here's the best way to save these characters. Do not sing it.
No, I will not sing.
No. Uh, but as a way of like saving characters a little bit, where it's like, oh, they can escape their fate of just becoming fucking cops if they were just gay.
But he was already gay. Also, he didn't become a cop. If you're talking about Naruto, he didn't become a cop. He became like mayor or something.
He became a cop.
He's not a cop.
Mm.
The Uchihas were the cops. And they are all dead, except for one. What is Sasuke doing anyway? Because, you know, the sequel doesn't exist. And I don't know what became of him.
Oh my god, we go into our lives with such good intentions.
Listen, I'm just here for the vibes. I just want to hang out with the people. I don't.
We go into our lives with such good intentions of like, oh yeah, all these things that we didn't talk about. We'll talk about them in the live. Don't worry about it. We'll get it in the live. We get to the live. I don't know. I don't know where I am.
No, I know. I was asleep. And I'm so mad. I was gonna do so much today, and it started out so well. And then I came home from my walk. I sat down with a Danish to read, and then I fell asleep, and I slept for 2 hours, and there went my afternoon. What I think is interesting though about like when we talk about like the utopia thing
Mhm.
is very interesting because what's utopian about it? Because all we do is take these characters out of their context and put them in fanfic where we make them suffer even more. But at least they're gay about it. At least they're suffering together.
Yeah, I mean that's the utopia. Especially if you ship a character with a villain that's actually right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like no, absolutely. Like I don't. When I say utopia, I don't mean like actually everything gets better, but it's like, oh, this is the better option.
Mm.
This is the better solution than dying. Or I think that was more aligned with fan works of Queering Shonen
Mm.
because a lot of it is fix it
Yeah.
or it's an AU. So
Mm.
it's taking these characters out of the context that would normally have them damned and puts them into a new one. Again, hashtag not officially shonen, but Trigun does that all the time with making sure that Wolfwood doesn't die. Keeping him alive.
Wolfwood dies?
Cruella, he dies so fucking hard.
In does he die in the series?
Yeah.
Well, clearly I blocked that out. See, I live in my own utopia. I live in this world where I just
What Timu version of Trigun were you watching that you passed Wolfwood dying and didn't commit it to memory?
no, because this is how I go through my life. I just file things away in the denial box, and it doesn't exist.
I fucking can't with you.
Oh my
I
god!
fucking can't with you. Yes, he dies. He dies in the manga and in the 98 anime.
I haven't read the manga. That's why I'm asking, because like I literally watched the 98 anime last year.
He super dies in the 98 anime.
Well, clearly my brain didn't want me to remember that. I don't know. What do you want from me?
Reading comprehension is what I want from you. Media analysis. What do you mean? What? Fucking.
Am I not allowed to just filter out the things I don't like now? Is that?
No, it's
I don't even know.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
This is also not the first time I've mentioned Wolfwood dying.
No, but see, there's this filter, and it's just like
no. Don't give her any fucking credit. What do you mean?
But this isn't the first time this has happened to me. It's like that time I was scrolling down my Twitter feed and someone had drawn, a little drawing of, Team Guy. And Neji was, standing behind them and he looked kind of transparent. And I was like, why the fuck is Neji transparent? And then I remembered. And then I started crying because I had blocked it out so hard.
I fucking can't with you.
this is how I handle these things. Like, listen, I don't want to be part of this. This character is fine.
No, he dies so
Follow me
hard in
for
the night.
more hot takes on
No, oh
character
my god,
survival.
he dies so hard in the 98 anime. What the fuck?
I can't even give you an answer. I don't like genuinely my brain just blocked it out. Wow. You
Why
were
do you think we love him so much?
well, that's why I blocked it out. Clearly.
We love him because he's our hot dead wife. That's why we love him.
We can't. Okay. What were you saying about Wolfwood before I derailed this entire track? Like, this entire train has now hit, you know, I was going to say a building, but.
I was saying, like, part of the reason why, like, especially with Trigun fan work, so much of it is AU and Fix It, is to create the utopia that Vash was never allowed to have, which is usually some weird way of allowing his brother to go do genocide as a treat, but then he gets to very selfishly keep Wolfwood. I fucking can't with you. I fucking can't.
Also, excuse me, but when we got the question of like shonen, we can't queer. I googled shonen, like I just googled shonen to get a list and to see if I could find any.
Yes.
And the first thing that pops up, like there's like a list that pops up on Google, and apparently there was a shonen that aired in 2005 called Absolute Boy. And I can assure you, that must be gay. That sounds incredibly gay. Absolute Boy. I will have to watch it.
No.
Why not?
I don't know. It sounds cursed.
It probably is. It's probably not even any good. Has anyone heard of it?
Oh my god, my brain. I was having thoughts, and then you were just like, "Oh, Wolfwood died." Yes, he dies. That's
like,
why everyone has a countdown timer on him in Stampede.
But I still haven't seen Stampede.
Well, he's not dead yet.
Take it up with my wife.
Thank you for looking. It's like, no, he's still kicking in Stampede for some reason.
Because he's hot.
But we know it's coming. That is not the hottest version of Wolfwood.
No, but like he's hot, therefore he's still kicking, you know? Like kept alive purely by.
So then what was happening in the manga in the 98 version? Was he less attractive?
Oh! Beastars is counted as a shonen. I don't see myself as having any ships in Beastars because they're all animals.
Fucking what?
It says here.
Oh, hell no!
Shonen drama suspense.
No!
What do you mean, no?
There were queer feelings in that.
But I haven't.
Okay, well, that's a you problem.
There are so many shows popping up on this list that I have never watched.
That's the queerest of the bunch.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm allergic to anthropomorphic ships.
Please ask us questions about the episode. My wife left her brain somewhere, and now mine has been corrupted by having to explain that a beloved anime character died 30 years ago.
Oh my god.
I want to know how you glazed over that.
You know, I just have a talent.
I was sad for days.
Don't underestimate my powers of denial. I would have if denial was an Olympic sport.
Yeah. You can't get much more gay than here. Eat my leg to satisfy your lust. Yeah, Beastars is very gay.
Help?
Yeah, it's very horny and it's very gay. It is so horny, in fact, that I actually struggled with it because it's like I felt like a mom perpetually walking in on her children. Like it's like, okay, you clearly need space to do this. That isn't home. Please, please go be horny somewhere else.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen it, because I think the first season aired around the same time as BNA. So I watched that instead, and I really like that one. But but they're similar, and it was like there are two anthro shows this season. I will only choose one. I went with BNA.
You're not similar.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know how your brain works anymore, and it's upsetting. They're not similar at all.
No, they're probably not. But like that was the one I watched. Like probably the only thing they have in common is that there are anthropomorphic characters.
Yes, that's literally it.
Yeah, but I watched that one, and then
Okay.
I just kind of I don't know. What do you want from me?
I, I don't. Apparently, I'm asking too much. Apparently, I've been too demanding on my poor 50s podcast wife.
Hmm. Well, that's what you get. I can't. I don't know how to help you with this.
Oh my god.
I did see something today, which related, and not to make everything about Naruto, but it's difficult because it's the shonen of my heart, and no one can take this away from me. But there was a tweet in my feed today for the 5 minutes, all of 5 minutes. I was on Twitter today, and it was a quote tweet. So the original tweet was from a corner of the internet that I don't go into, which is the Sasusaku part of the internet. If you want to, I don't know who these people are. Clearly, there are more delusional people than me out there. However, the Sasusaku squad had made this tweet where it was like there were like 4 frames, and it's like 2 frames showing Sasuke's eyes and then 2 frames showing Sakura's eyes, and Sakura's like blushing, and they've captioned it something like, "Oh, the way Sasuke looks at Sakura," and then someone quote tweets it and is like, "Except that's not Sasuke looking at Sakura. That panel is Sasuke looking at Naruto when he says goodbye when he leaves the village." So, they're really like grasping at straws. Because he doesn't, I mean, I will say his eyes are incredibly dead in that panel anyway. There's no emotion there. But, like, there's nothing there for them to source. They have to take their sources from Sasunaru panels. Because there's nothing. I love it. We win. Thank you. But like, because
And what's going to happen is I tried my best to be like, let's give Corolla one topic that I know she's going to love. And we're going to get to July, and there will be not a single constructive thought for that entire 2 hour recording period.
you think so? I think it's gonna be great. I have so much to draw on.
Okay.
It's maybe this is the time where I should reread Naruto,
Okay.
but I don't know if I'm mentally prepared. It's too soon. It's been like, I can't remember how many years it's been, but I'm not ready. It's too soon. I can't put myself through that again.
So yeah, if you have any questions about the episode or just want to talk about
You're so desperate to just.
Girl, you have thrown this into a blender, and I'm stressed about it. And
Someone
I love you.
help us out.
Please help me.
Or talk about your ships. I want to know about your shonen ships.
Yes, please help us. I'm adrift in a sea, desperately looking for a lifeboat right now.
There is none. None.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god, why are you like this?
I don't know. You're the one who invited me on this podcast. I don't know what you were expecting.
Increasingly, I don't know what I was expecting
Does
either.
it count if it's a shonen series where there are no men?
Fucking what?
No, I'm still scrolling and there's like a bunch of these like like Keijo, which is that weird sports anime with the women
Yeah,
with the boobs and the butts trying to push each other
yeah.
around, and yeah, like that's listed as a shonen. I guess it's easier. I mean, it's still queer, I guess, if there are you can have female ships, but this is the Yaoi Shelf. So I don't know.
Light and I were everything. At one point. Ah, yes. Light and L. Light and
Mm.
L.
I have watched
Terror of the End.
I watched that. I can't remember a damn thing, but I do remember shipping the two main characters. Yes, I did.
We talked a lot about Light and L in the Patreon episode, and that was a blast.
Yeah, just
I
a
think,
little, just a little light couples therapy, with
well, and
heavy focus on the light.
I think what's interesting is that like this was one thing that we said we wanted to talk about is how pairings shift over time.
Mm.
That was one thing we wanted to talk about
Mm.
because while of course people that still ship Light and L exist, you would likely see that number drop over the people that ship Matt and Mello.
Because Matt and Mello is the superior couple.
Yes, the one that actually loves each other.
Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, and I said it in the Patreon episode. I probably said it elsewhere as well. That what is so funny with to me with Light and L is that I've shipped them for so long, but it's literally the only ship I have where I actively hate 50% of the ship. Like I hate the one character with a visceral passion, and it's so weird to me. Like I hate this guy, but hell yeah, I want to see them screw each other. Oh yeah.
Yes.
What's your favorite? Because, like, for me, listen, I am here for Kaneki and the Gourmet. I'm just saying. Like, Kaneki, I want to eat you. That just hits different. I don't know. It's Mamoru! What was I gonna do? He waltzed through that door and opened his mouth, and I was like, yes. You were saying?
Why are you like this?
Because I don't know. Did you not see the reel? I'm just a rotten girl. What do you want from me?
Oh my goodness. But no, like I think that's interesting to think about is like how uh fandom changes what pairing to focus on.
Hmm.
I think that's really interesting. And then like with nostalgia cycles, you'll see pairings come back and it's like I never thought that that would come back as a pairing.
And then you have, like I said, not dare we bring them up again, but like the Puritans discovering some of these pairings. Yes, no, I did not watch the live action yet because the phobia makes it a little difficult, but I really want to see it. But yeah, no, like when the Puritans discovered Death Note and they discovered the ships, and their main focus, like we talked about in the Patreon episode, was that Light is a minor and L is older than him, and we're over here like, one of these two is a literal
murderer,
like a literal serial killer. But sure, the problem is
the age gap.
Okay, and it's not even that big of an age gap. Like L is what, in his early 20s?
Yeah, he's in his early 20s.
It's like I don't think that's not the problem.
Yeah. One thing I will also say, and this is like hashtag modern fangirl problems, is that desire to edit because you're afraid of Puritans. So luckily I'm a multi-shipper, so I usually like I'm almost never without a pairing anywhere. There's one in the Rolodex. But it's like, oh, this pairing could get me canceled.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thought to have.
I think it's, I say this, like, the amount of times I say this during the week is actually wild, but like, the fact that I have not been cancelled yet, considering what I sit on this podcast 3 times a month saying with my whole face out on the internet, I don't understand. I'm
I
just
mean,
waiting. I'm
it's
just waiting.
let's see.
Juzo, my baby. I also think that, and this is going purely off of the visuals, but like Juso and Uta would look really good together. I mean, Uta's a dick, you are what you eat, but like I I think they would look pretty together. Uta's so pretty. Uta also looks like Miyabi, which basically is why I fell in love with him in the first.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. But yeah, no. Ugh, yes. My poor heart. I will never be okay. Why?
What?
Why does shonen hurt?
Um, I feel like it doesn't hurt me the way that it used to.
Yes. See, you're a
Um,
man of culture. No, I am likely to agree, but then I remember what I said in the main episode, or maybe it was the Patreon episode, about how I don't really watch or read that many shonen, and it's mainly because they tend to be so long,
yes.
and I just kind of like, unless I get in there like from the get go, like I don't think I'd ever watch Hero Academia if it wasn't for the fact that I literally started watching when episode 1 came out, because, and I am so grateful that they are doing the thing where they're actually animating the whole thing, but like, they are long. It takes a lot of dedication. If you want to buy the mangas, you can only follow one shonen at a time because you will be broke. Yes, yes, yes. I know, I know.
I feel like I'm interrupting a private conversation about Tokyo.
Wait, if you feel free to join.
I don't know anything about it.
I keep remembering that I haven't actually finished Tokyo Ghoul because Tokyo Ghoul Re, I was reading Tokyo Ghoul Re, and then it got licensed as this is the story of my life. I'm reading something online and then it gets licensed, and then I start collecting the volumes, and then for some reason I don't read them. And so I was waiting for Tokyo Ghoul Re to be finished so I could like binge read the whole thing, and then I never did. And I keep telling myself, "Oh, I should get on that." And like, it would take me a weekend, but I don't I'm just not doing it.
I think the issue with long shonen tends to be more of um it's long but towards what end?
Mm.
Because like I will say the original 52 episodes we got of Full Metal Alchemist, yeah, there were a couple of filler episodes, but you needed those episodes. They told a
Mm.
story. Like I would struggle to think of where you could cut. Um I think it's when you start getting into like the 100 plus episodes that it's like, okay, why are we still on this journey? And then you just get to something like One Piece, where it's like, this show has already had 13 endings. There's been 13 places where you could have, in a satisfying manner, ended this show, and you didn't. And I kind of feel that way with Naruto. I mean, even if we ignore like the sequel hell that we were in and the spin-off hell that we were in for a little while, there were multiple parts where it's like you could have ended this series. You could have.
I mean, I think I agree with you too. In the how you say? Oh my god, I'm turning into Yoshiki. Furuto. I think I've read half of it, so I can't remember. He sounds familiar. Uh, my main issue with Rhea is that there are so many new characters that look like already existing characters, and I get confused. But yeah, no, I think with Naruto, it's kind of like, because obviously the ending should be, it's like, okay, you gotta fight the Akatsuki, whatever. He has to become Hokage, that's the rule, and he has to get Sasuke back. Like, those are the three main cruxes. But then they kept on adding things like, oh, there's a new boss battle, and like, there's a new thing. So in that sense, I get what you mean. Because
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, I don't know. I feel like in many ways, I was watching a different show than a lot of my friends who were watching Naruto. Because, like, I have a friend and we're always talking about it. And it's like, he's bringing up these details and like all this lore that I have just like completely glossed over and forgotten, because that wasn't the show I was watching. I was watching it for the love story. It's still going, yeah. Yeah, what was that thing that I recently found out was still going? But that was a BL though.
And it wasn't Hontoyaku?
No, it was Okaneganai.
It is still going on,
Because
isn't
the
it?
manga's still going. And I'm like, how? What? It's been, how many years has it been, Amanda? Like, what do you think this boy has been through at this point? I don't even want to know. Like, oh no. There's a part of me that really wants to find out. But I live in fear.
Girl, I can't get you to remember important character deaths. You aren't kidding. There's so many BLs, and I'm like, why are they? It's a problem.
Listen, okay, I just need to gripe for a second, because remember how how I made my little spreadsheet, because I was gonna, spend like a week tracking all of my manga and like putting it into a spreadsheet and organizing it based on, how many volumes do I own, how many volumes are there total, are they complete, are they ongoing, and I was doing all of this. And we all know that I've been mad at my queen, Takenaga Hinako, for a while, because she finished The Tyrant Falls in Love, and then she decided to keep it going after she said it was finished. And I was really mad because it took me forever to get all the volumes, and then the final volume came out and I was like, yes, finally. But then she was like, okay, it keeps going. And then as I am making my spreadsheet and like tracking what, which volumes are missing or whatever, and I'm going through the things and I'm checking the publishers, and looking at Baka to see what the status is. Fucking June has cancelled the future volumes of The Tyrant Falls in Love. So not only did this woman decide to continue the manga, even though it was technically finished, now I can't get the new volumes because they're not being published in English anymore. Why? I'm so sad. Petitions for BL to not go on forever, even though this was a dream of mine as a child. I'm so sad.
I fucking can't with you. I fucking can't.
Well, I can't either, because I'm cursed.
Oh my god. I don't even know. I feel like this live has gone in so many directions that I wasn't planning on it going.
You had a plan?
I usually do Corolla.
I don't.
I'm aware. I know. It's why I don't usually get to have my plans.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's just hate on June in the comments and fucking Dust the Flower Blossom. Why do they do this? Why do you license something if you're not going to finish it? Please, I am begging. What about me? I mean, that's the thing though. At the very least, when it comes to shonen, they're going to finish it. Maybe this is why, this is why we fluctuate so hard towards it. Because at the very least, we know we're going to get something. We know that they're not going to take it from us.
I mean, maybe. I think that's an interesting way of putting it. I'm not quite sure just because.
No.
I mean, they're plenty of other shonen series that like we're not gonna finish. We finish them because of the time that they came out, and because shonen is more aggressively marketed and is typically more mainstream. It's easier to rationalize those licenses,
Mm,
and then with merch production ramping up, it creates its own demand.
yeah. And then
And
we are, like we talked about the Fujin economy.
mhm,
We are creating the demand.
right, so it's kind of hard to compare that because like also I feel like just in general being a Fujin, a series that you think is an end all be all, other people have never heard of.
Mm.
So like, yeah, we gotta be like, oh, I love Tyrant. Tyrant's great. Tyrant's great. You take that out of your circle. What the fuck is Tyrant?
I've said this before, but like everyone was always talking about Tyrant, and when I finally read it, I was like, oh, I don't love it. I don't. It has too many tropes in it that I don't like. It's not my favorite Hinako series. She has so many good series, but Tyrant is not one of them in my opinion. Also, I just googled DN Angel, and that's a shoujo apparently.
Yes.
I would have had it. I had it pinned as a shonen because I
No.
recently, again, because that was another thing I was, because I own 11 volumes, and that's one of those. It was one of those Tokyo Pop casualties,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently DN Angel is getting a new, like a reboot, like the same. It's like the same manga but different the way it was intended to be apparently. So I'm really curious about that. But as long as I still get to ship, Daisuke with Dark, I'm fine. I also know a lot of people shipped Crowd and Dark, but I can't remember how I felt about that. It's been so long. I should probably like rewatch it or something.
Pairing that has been ruined by Dirty Uncle Vic.
Oh no! See, this is why, at least I don't have a relationship to the dub, and I don't have to think about that. I still haven't finished that video. Actually, I have 2 hours left, or like
Yeah.
1 hour left.
Let's see. I think seeing the success of Danme proves that if you promote and have other mediums, people to get people's attentions, you can have success with BL. We need more BL anime. Um,
Yeah.
yes, I think that that's true. I think the big thing is that the BL industry has never fully recovered
Mm,
from its bubble bursting in the
mm,
late 2000s. And this is of course in the US because like our issues are with like Jude and Tokyo Pop. They aren't really overseas issues. They're local issues. Um the Yaoi bubble definitely burst in the 2010s.
mm. Yeah.
And I don't think that they've ever fully recovered. I don't know if they ever really will. I know a lot of the same people are in power and they are still exceedingly gun shy and not willing to take risks. I think the interesting thing about Donmei is it's very accessible.
Mm.
And I think because it's a newer fandom, it has that really, really interesting ability to draw people in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Yaoi, for all of its staying power, still has a lot of really negative baggage and connotations to
Mm.
it.
Yeah. I was gonna say that because,
Like,
like,
go ahead.
no, you can just finish.
Because like I know even for calling this the Yaoi shelf, there are people who are like, I don't. Why are you using that word? It's like because it's what we do. All of these things are incorporated underneath this word. I think just Donmei has less baggage emotionally.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like that was what I was gonna say. Because I've talked a lot about this in the past couple of years. Because like I love terminology. I love
Mhm.
language. I am very much a purist in the language. And like the thing is, I keep saying this, like BL, Yaoi, Shonen, all of this, they're all the same.
Mhm.
Danmei is BL.
Yeah.
Thai BL is
Is
BL.
BL.
Live action is BL.
BL.
All of these things are BL. But because people, I have said this so many times, I'm so
Mhm.
tired of saying it, people don't have fandom history. They don't have queer history. And
Mhm.
they certainly don't have the queer history of, the non-Western hemisphere, or even like the non-US hemisphere, or
Mhm.
whatever. So what I see a lot is that younger people in fandoms don't know that BL isn't exclusively live action, and they see Damme as this purer,
Yes.
higher form, because BL, and especially the word yaoi, is so stigmatized. And the thing
Mhm.
is, and this is why, and I see this so much, I try not to interact with it too much because I'm trying to stay sane. But bless the people like Sam, like Discourse, and the other like fandom discourse, people out there on the social internet trying to debunk a lot of these myths, because a lot of the people who are Damme fans, and I'm by no means saying all of them, because a lot of you, I know you are out there, are old school fans, and fans who are who know your history, and who have a brain, who have media literacy. But a lot of people are actually praising Damme for being more morally correct, and
Mhm.
praising censorship, because
Yes.
you are so afraid of whatever morally decrepit things you see in, for instance, traditional Japanese BL, that you think censorship is a good thing. The only reason that Damme is more morally correct is because they're not allowed to be explicit. It's because
Yeah.
they're being censored.
Right. Like you get a real like heartstopper scenario where it's like, oh well, because it comes from here, it's purer and
Mm-hmm.
better and more intellectually sound and more morally sound, as opposed to that degenerate filth from
Yeah,
Japan.
which
And it's like,
racism, but
racism. So yeah, like I don't know. I always have like really mixed feelings when I see stuff like that about
yeah.
Dame. And like I totally get where you're coming from as well. Like it's the shiny new hotness. You
Mm,
know, everyone likes it because it's new, because it feels different even though it's not.
yeah.
Um
And then again, they don't have the history, because again,
mhm,
dare I speak, the word damme, the way you write it in kanji in Japanese and Chinese characters is the exact same. And in Japanese, you read it as tambi, which
mhm,
means like aesthetics, decadence, eroticism, etc., which was
mhm,
also a word that was attributed to the early BL works
mhm.
before BL became the word for it. So it literally is the same thing. People just don't know it.
So I get where this is going, but so like I think we all know that the anime bubble did burst a few years ago. We just haven't really felt the full effects of it, but it absolutely did burst. I feel like just making more animation, especially in the BL space, isn't necessarily the fix, because I think like to push back on that, it's like, well, we did. We had Hitajime My Hero. We had, well, not officially BL, like Cute High Earth Defense Club Love, Sadas on My. Like we've had these like very BL adjacent series that did nothing.
But I also think, I mean, every time we talk about this, there's one question floating around in my mind. And
Mm-hmm.
like I know that there are things, and I mean the pandemic happened,
Mm-hmm.
and there are all of these horrible things happening in the anime industry, and like
Mm-hmm.
recessions and all of this stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
remember a few years ago, which I do believe was pre-pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm wrong because numbers are fake, but there was a company, a Japanese company that was founded called Blue Lynx, whose only resolve in life was to produce BL anime. And they
Yeah.
have released so few things. I'm like, where are you?
Well, and again, that ties it back to Puritanism, because one of the first things they released was Twittering Birds Never Fly, which made me very happy.
I
But
was
when,
very happy.
yeah, no, and that's fair. I'm also salty about that, but that's not the industry's fault.
Yeah, but
That's
like,
fans' fault.
yeah, and I've been saying this for so long, like literally forever. But
Mm-hmm.
like there's, and and you know, I, again, disclaimer, just in case someone just randomly pops onto this stream or like sees this out of context or whatever, that disclaimer, I don't care. Okay, I love a lot of like really fucked up things in BL that just absolutely destroy me in various ways. When, I mean, again, look back at the when we discussed Jane no Subeta, which is one of the most traumatic things I have read in my entire life, but it's very good. It's not for everyone, right?
No.
But but I also love a lot of like really sweet fluffy things. Like I am very, I eat everything. I'll take whatever they can give me. And I say that as someone who, for instance, I don't like cherry magic. And that is, I mean, again, I will what?
I know you don't.
No, because, and it's not, I think there are a lot of things about it that I do like, but I just don't like the whole 30-year-old virgin in an office trope. I'm very tired of it. There's enough of that in josei and shoujo, right? So, but like that, you know, that said, that for some reason, the trend has been that when they do animate BL, they have chosen to give us ovas that lead nowhere.
Yeah.
And they have chose for some reason to go with the most non-con toxic, horrible. Like, it's like there's so much BL out there that doesn't have like that doesn't have a seime that's like no means yes. But for some reason, the series that do get animated tend to be those. And when they do, they also like to censor to the, you know, they black screen, they close the door, they do that weird love stage thing with the purple stuff, the purple haze. Because like, and it's like, yeah, same. I love the side couple who never get any attention, God forbid, because this is the curse of my life. But like, I think I also agree, like, if there was more and it was more accessible, but also if it fit more into the tastes. And like right now, fandom spaces are a minefield. So
Yeah.
if you release like a lot of BLs, just it doesn't matter if you make them accessible, there's still gonna be there's gonna be someone out there who's gonna decide that it's horrible.
Right. There's gonna be some reactionary YouTuber who makes a thumbnail like this
Mm-hmm.
and is gonna, you know, like I think that's the issue. It's I never like blaming fans because it's a company problem, but right now it's fans.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. June could do everything right. And that's saying a lot because they haven't done anything right since the early 2000s.
They have. I have tried. I'm trying to be neutral. But dear God.
But like at this stage, I don't even know. Like I've been in this game for a while. I would not know what to release at this point. Because yeah, you either do feed into what yaoi at this point is more known for, which is being super toxic and super non-conny, and then you upset the Puritines, or you ignore that part of the fandom entirely and you give everyone Given. And for as many people like Given, there are black-hearted people like me that don't.
I love Given.
And I respect you for that.
Like, it destroyed me.
Yeah.
But there's one thing, and I have said this on stream before, which is very confusing to me because people love to put, you know, to put Given up on a pedestal, like, oh, yes, it's so perfect and it's so pure and it's so sweet. Then they completely just like gloss over the fact that Mafuyu literally told his ex-boyfriend to go kill himself, and then he did, which, you know, is the tragedy. Like, I love Given so much for so many reasons, and that scene viscerally hurt me because obviously he didn't mean it, and you know, they were dumb teenagers, but I just think it's fascinating that the same crowd that will freak out over literally the smallest, dumbest thing in anything else have chosen to just completely ignore this. And it's like, and it wasn't until that scene with Akihiko and Haru that people started freaking out over Given being problematic because of that scene on the couch where there's like some dubcon / non-con happening, but and that's where you choose to freak out. Like, okay,
yeah, I think So again, like that's not a company issue. That's
No.
not a there's no amount of anything that June, Tokyo Pop, anyone can do. That's a fandom issue.
Oh
And
yeah.
again, it's like there's this it's really frustrating because yeah, like yaoi does come with it's such a loaded term nowadays.
Which is why it's not usually used nowadays. I mean, it's not used
Right.
in Japan.
Like we were very intentional, well at least I was when I created the
I
show.
wasn't here.
You weren't here.
I was
But
somewhere else.
like has there been temptation to rebrand? Of course there has. No. Because this is what we know. This is what we grew up with.
Yeah, but like I also think that, while I am very much on the again, the terminology thing, and that yaoi is just a subsection of BL, and it's not a term that is used anymore, and the way that we used it in the West is not what it originally meant. But even if you take it and like in the way that it originally means, that is precisely what we do on this podcast. We talk a lot about fan works. We talk a lot about, like, like we're supposed to be doing right now, shonen. And when you take
The thing we're supposed to be doing.
which we're supposed to be doing, but like when you take that is originally the term yaoi. It was the aniparo, it was the doujins of the 80s where you took an existing couple of characters and put them in a doujin together. That was yaoi. So when we ship characters who are not originally BL characters, that is yaoi, and that's what we
Yeah,
do on the yaoi shop.
we are exercising that right. But yeah,
Yes,
it's really really strange seeing this like seismic shift in fandom
I hate it.
towards I mean I know I hate like
Like, there
is
are
no
good
part
things,
of
don't
me
get me wrong, like.
yeah, like there is no part of me that enjoys this current apotheosis and that like yeah, it is a self-made crisis. It really is. It is an entirely self-made crisis. I can acknowledge that some of the stuff we were reading when we were younger, we probably shouldn't have been reading.
I died. Too late.
I mean, yeah, yes, we can't. Too late.
I don't know.
I'll just say too late. But like, so the current state of fandom is so frustrating to me. I acknowledge that like as I get ready for my summer convention season, the current state of fandom is just so exhausting to me because same, it's like, hey, here's this show that we're gonna hallmark as like the pinnacle of cuteness and being morally correct, like My Hero Academia, and it's like, so we just gonna ignore all the eugenics,
Yes.
y'all. This is your pure-hearted, innocent shonen. We're just gonna not talk about all that. Cool, 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 cool.
It's okay. See, as we all know, as we have discovered in this live, I am a fan of denial, but there are yeah. Yeah. There are ways to do and not to do, but sure, you just gloss over the eugenics and the all of the other horrible things. And I say that I love Hero Academia, but again, I am a problematic fandom elder who likes terrible things. Do you have your paint water in that mug?
Yes, I do.
I'm so glad I don't have to see it.
No,
Oh
here it is.
no. No wait, Red, what was the fallout over Tasogare? Because I've forgotten or blocked it out.
There were problematic elements.
What doesn't have a problematic element though? I don't.
Woman, I don't know.
I don't want to talk about this again.
Again, thing that keeps coming up. I don't want to talk about this again.
But it's like, why is this a thing? Like, I literally saw someone the other day trying to cancel a store because they sell oh my god, like ecchi figures, or like just figures of literal minors in like bathing suits or whatever.
Oh right, I
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
right. Yeah. Oh, fucking Crunchyroll. Oh,
Okay.
I saw an article from the Crunchyroll COO the other day, but I didn't actually read it. I I was like, oh no, what did they do now? And wait, let me check.
I mean, I keep saying like the anime bubble has burst, and uh, that's true. We've hit peak saturation. We actually hit peak saturation a few years ago, but especially being in the West, we're only like now really feeling the repercussions of it. Change is coming, and I don't think any of us are going to like it.
I don't like it now.
Yeah, I don't like it now, but I don't think any of us are gonna like it.
Blah 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 blah. What did she say? Oh, it's an interview. Oh, I will
Are you,
report back when I've read
are
it.
you just like you're just out here wilding?
Yeah, no, but I just remembered because I saw that article yesterday and I was like, oh, I should read that before the live in case it's something relevant. And then I forgot that it existed, and now I remember, but it was much longer than I thought it was.
Donmei gets away with it because its fans allow it to get away with it.
Mm, not
Like
all
that.
of them though.
Not all of them, but enough of them do. It's that given issue again, where it's like, yeah, Donmei gets away with it because it's the new hotness, and branding has told us that this is spiritually, functionally, everything different from Yaoi.
But I also, again, acknowledging that I know absolutely nothing about Damme. I watched Scumvillain. When is season 2 coming out? Because I was actually invested in that. But I haven't seen a lot of Damme, partially because, again, it's all rooted in like kind of like fantasy things, and I'm not big on fantasy, so I can't really get into it. But I've seen like most of the discourse I've seen where people are like mad at Damme, and again, it's like these purity things because they have chosen certain hills they would like to die on. And when
Mm-hmm.
I see people criticizing Damme for being problematic, it's the thing I said in the main episode, that because they often refer to each other as sworn brothers, people get all, oh my god, it's incest. That's problematic. It's like, it's not incest. It's again that thing which we also see in shonen, where
Mm-hmm.
you can't, for whatever reason, express your love, or you don't have the emotional registry to understand your emotions. And like the most kind of like the deepest form of emotion you can think of towards another man is, oh, he's like a brother to me, which is not, that's not what you're feeling. In Damme, they have to say stuff like that because, again, censorship. But then the stupid media illiterate children decide to attack Damme for being problematic because it's glorifying incest or whatever, which is not what they're doing.
Pseudo incest.
Yeah,
It's incest coded.
God forbid. God forbid a man has a close relationship to someone else and doesn't know how to express it.
And what I'm fascinated by that is to go back to like a main point that we discussed of like that really, really strong dismissive answer to Fujin when we do queer shonen is like, oh, men can't express emotion. It's like, it's the Puritans who are saying men can't express emotions. We let them have plenty of emotions. They're just gay.
And I also think it's very interesting, if you want to go down that road, that the same men who, like, men will criticize you. And now I'm like talking about, these are hypothetical straight men that I personally haven't met in my life, because I guess I have a lot of green flags in my life, but I know they exist. I've seen them on the internet. The dude bros who get mad because you're querying their shonen, but
Yes.
then they are the same type of men who think that it's gay to show emotion. And then I'm like, well, if you think it's gay to, show emotions, express your feelings, hug your bro, wash your ass, I don't know, then what? Okay, so you can label anything as gay because it's not macho culture coded. But if I do it, that's a problem. But I don't get it. Explain.
Patriarch
Explain.
patriarchy re-enters in the chat.
I don't like it. I don't understand. Like, pick a fucking side.
But yeah,
Is
it's
it gay or
interesting.
isn't it?
It's an interesting to see how fandom has kind of moved and shifted um with our Overton window. Like it definitely feels like fandom has gotten a lot more conservative in the way that everything has gotten a lot more conservative, which is, I mean, it's horrifying. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
we recently had a drama in Texas because DreamCon managed to get Megan the Stallion as a guest.
Okay.
And DreamCon is like the black anime con.
Oh,
So
but
much so.
she is like she's one of us, isn't she?
I was getting there, Corolla.
Okay, I'm just checking because I don't know who anyone is. Okay.
Corolla, I was getting there.
Okay.
And Meg is literally like the black anime girl from
Okay.
Texas. So DreamCon managed to book Meg. Big fucking deal. Until one of their admins decided to go on a very incel adjacent tirade about how Meg is a fake fan and
Oh,
doing this for clout and women don't deserve rights and stuff.
and this was like an organizer.
Yeah, this was their social media
Oh
admin.
wow. Oh,
And now Meg canceled.
gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, it's scary to see how alternative spaces are getting conservative because that's what
Right?
exactly that's where we went to escape. And now you're saying I have to deal with transphobia in my fanfic? Excuse me?
Please, we were here first. Please leave.
Yeah, but they fumbled Megan the Stallion. I can't believe it. And DreamCon has I hate to put it.
Megan, if you're listening, Turucon would love to have you.
You can't afford me.
Of course not. We can't afford anything, but I'm just saying, you're welcome with us.
If she's willing to do a pro bono gig in the
Yeah, like if
middle
you
of
want to see Norway on the lovely fjords, we got you. Just
you can't afford me. What are you talking
no,
about?
we can't afford anything, unfortunately.
Uh but yeah, like you're seeing this sharp rise in these conservative, terminally online takes,
Mhm.
really messing with fandom. And I think like it's probably one of the bigger reasons why we persist with this show is to continue to be like, hey, so that's not normal.
Yeah, please
Um,
let us regale you of tales of the past, which was in no way perfect, but at
yeah,
least
I did.
it wasn't like this.
I did see a guy who was like, "Hey, has enough time passed that we can bring yaoi paddles back to con?" And I just had like a visceral reaction.
Listen, I was so surprised because last, for those in the chat not familiar, I don't know because I never tell people online what I'm doing with my life because I'm not even online anymore. But last weekend was Norway's Constitution Day, which is when usually we dress up in our beautiful national costume called the bunad, which is the most expensive thing we wear. Except Tourikon walks in the People's Parade, so we wear cosplay. So instead of wearing my bunad, I was dressed up as Rotten Girl Miku, and I made a yaoi paddle like the one she has in the music video. I made it from foam because I didn't want to kill anyone, and also because I don't know how to do anything with wood, I guess. But I was surprised by the number of people who knew what a yaoi paddle was. Like in the Norway, like in Norwegian fandom spaces among the people who came and walked with us, like a lot of people actually knew what it was. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's stuff like this. Like fandom elders aren't quiet.
No, yeah.
Just because no one listens doesn't mean that we're quiet.
But like
We're just out.
they were never
Yeah.
a thing in Norway, so I was surprised that even younger people were, but
Yeah.
that might be because of the hip crushing legend.
Like if I promise not to hit anyone with can I bring exactly like if I promise not to assault anyone, which was not my goal anyway.
I think you need as an organizer, I think you need to check the weapons rules because I have seen American cons that still have that rule that you cannot bring yaoi paddles. Like it's still
Yeah.
there.
No, can confirm. Can confirm. My favorite also is when guys buy swords at the con and then get upset when they aren't allowed to walk around with real swords.
Yeah, that we have like I don't even think we allow our vendors to sell swords right now. Like they're not allowed to sell wall hangers because of that. When we did allow them to sell them, it was like, yeah, you can buy it, but you have to collect it after the con. You're not allowed to carry it around. Because that's I mean, a wall hanger technically isn't sharp enough to kill someone, but like
Still.
I was almost impaled by a wall hanger once. Dude, I don't recommend it. I also dropped one on my toe, and it was in the sheath, so it wasn't like the blade. But like I dropped the sword on my toe, and my nail was bruised for a year. So don't do that.
I don't think they're supposed to do that.
No, it was horrible. This is why this toenail is fucked, by the way.
But yeah, like I think it's fascinating that like there are some things that are forever left, like the in group. Yaoi paddles are one of them, which you still haven't told me what design you want on yours, because I have them right over here.
I know, and I'm still don't. I mean, I don't know if I want like, because like it should probably just be a traditional yaoi one. Because I feel like if I had one that said like Sama, it would have to have a partner.
And you know I wouldn't take the uke one.
No, but like I would like to have, in that case, I would love to have them side by side.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah, like and I'm not gonna. Yeah, no. So maybe just yaoi is fine.
Okay.
Not that I understand how you're gonna ship this thing, because it's gonna cost
$1 million.
Fortune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, why is it so big?
Because I love you.
Is that the original size? Like, were they really?
No, this is short.
That's short?
They used to be longer.
I feel like I've seen, like, the most I've seen in photos are more like that size or like smaller.
So like this is the size they should be. Thank you. Holding it like it's a trout. Oh.
This is how everyone's pictures should be on you know, like dating apps, like just holding a yaoi paddle like a fucking trout.
So they are more commonly this size. The problem with a lot of the American ones is that they extended the handle to be more like a fucking oar.
Yeah, because I've seen those too. Yeah.
But this is the most common size. This is also the size for Greek paddles.
What the hell is a Greek paddle? Is this like one of those sorority fraternity things?
Yes. So you would put like your letters here and like all that stuff. So
the lore deepens. But I have never understood why the paddles. I mean, yes, I know because ships, but it's just
solid wood.
Yeah. Nope.
Solid wood. It's listed as decor.
That's because you're not supposed to take it out and hit people with it.
It's listed as decor. Yeah, so you know, whatever you want on it. It's yours.
Yeah, yay.
I don't know how I'm going to ship it, but you know.
I don't know. It's going to cost $1 million.
Yeah, well, wouldn't be the
in this
time.
Economy.
Girl, I was looking at custom Converse. I'm not good with money.
But they were so cute, though. They were so really you.
Cute. They were really cute, and I really
Amanda asked me for financial advice last night. Actually, it wasn't last night. It was the other day. And she was like, please talk me out of getting these custom Converse. And I was like, I'm not sure I can do that. What do they look like? And then she sent me the picture. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in no position to tell you not to buy those. Those are cute.
No, those are fucking awesome. What are you talking about?
I'm like the worst. Like, you're trying. And I'm over here, like, enabling you. Like, no, you see, now that I've seen them.
Yeah, unfortunately, now that you've shown me and they're really fucking cool.
But they were so perfect.
They are really perfect.
They were so you. I
And
think.
I upgraded them to have the comfort insole.
Oh,
So they
nice.
are, I
Yeah,
know.
that is important because listen,
Uh,
feet. See, now we're getting into dangerous territories, talking about feet on stream. But but like, I can't. My feet are dying. I wear like these like anti-chafing socks that have like the gel padding.
mhm.
And if I don't wear them, like I mean, I walk 10,000 steps outside every day, and like my feet hurt.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
I don't know either. Spite, I think.
Um,
Yes.
Corolla, what are we talking about next month? What does our schedule look like for next month?
Our schedule. I don't even know if we've set the schedule apart from our live.
We have.
Okay. Well, am I allowed to say it now?
We talked about it at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I know, but we were all. Oh, we are definitely not
Oh,
saying.
that part.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can announce it. It's already been announced.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking. No,
I,
we are going to Pride Month. We talk about gay stuff every month, but we are going to have a look into the women of BL. And
correct.
that includes the history, the women who made BL what it is, the fans who made BL what it is, and women in BL, probably.
Yes. Yes.
And we will be taking our live on the road, so to speak, from our own homes. We will be live at CitrusCon.
Yes, this is correct.
Yes.
We will be doing our live at CitrusCon, where we'll be talking about some female roles in
Yeah.
BL and Yaoi.
Believe the title is Deconstructing Female Roles in BL and Yaoi.
Yes, so we get to talk about, a part of BL that is very there, and how we've come and grown in dealing with female characters that exist. I am also excited for
I
CitrusCon.
love CitrusCon. I love 4 days of con from my own couch without sleeping, 24/7 programming. Let's go. It's during
So
my anniversary weekend, so prepare for one neglected wife.
please, please.
I don't make the rules. I don't.
I would like the record to state that I don't make her do this.
No, but like I was going to do CitrusCon no matter what. I'm talking about my poor wife who is like, yeah, if you want to celebrate our anniversary on the day, we're going to have to do it while watching CitrusCon because I'm not missing anything.
Oh my god.
I love CitrusCon.
I know you do.
I
But
do.
I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for joining us during this live stream. I know it was a little chaotic, but that's why Discord exists. You are always welcome to keep the conversation going in Discord, where at least I will answer.
Yeah, I try, but it's also my Discord had one of those meltdowns again this week where it was like it wasn't notifying me of anything, which was great. I don't need to know that someone has messaged me. It's working again now because now I'm getting all of these messages in my sidebar from this organizer server. But like I was supposed to be in a Discord meeting and Discord refused to tell me that people were typing in the meeting, so that was fun. Why me?
Thank you all for joining us. It has
Thank
been
you.
a hell of a Sunday, and we will see you next month to talk more about BL, and of course this time some of the women that made BL, and to continue on to what will be likely the episode that we'll never be able to top, which is our birthday episode.
Have you seen my shirt today?
Oh my god, I fucking can't with you. I fucking can't.
Look at them!
I'm just gonna put tired seme on mine. Just on my yaoi paddle, I'm just gonna put exhausted seme.
There are a lot of those.
There's so fucking many.
You can't blame them.
Just so fucking.
I feel it in my soul because I too am an exhausted Sam. And the difference is that I don't have any money.
You're so welcome. We will see you guys in the next
This was
one.
a lot of fun. Thanks for
Yes.
joining.
Bye.
Bye. Or not.
It
It's
won't let
still
us leave.
going.
Oh no.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.